Yeah, it's Zach, stepping up to the game, living life prepared, I'm not here for the fame. With a plan in my hand, gotta make it alright. Through the storms and the struggles, I'm ready to fight. Prepare for the worst while I aim for the best. Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll fight our own way. Stacking knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Yeah, Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll find our own way. We'll find our own way. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Zach your knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Never lose sight. Yeah, stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Lift brick every chain, with Zach in the lead. We'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain.
Out on the road, or safe at home. Life can turn on the dime when you're on your own. But there's a light, guiding hands act here to show you how to make a stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unique Prepping, where innovation meets preparation, and everyone's unique abilities come together to build a stronger, united community. Unique Prepping exists to empower individuals to embrace their unique strengths and abilities while preparing for the challenges of tomorrow. Our channel is about more than just survival, it's about thriving in every aspect of life. We focus on practical prepping, from mastering gardening and sustainable living to honing essential survival skills, fostering a spirit of self-reliance, and building meaningful connections with like-minded individuals who share the same goals. Why unique? Because we believe that everyone, regardless of their circumstances or abilities, has something valuable to contribute to the prepping community. We are here to break down barriers, challenge limitations, and show that preparation is for everyone. This is a space where creativity meets practicality, and where we celebrate the diverse talents and perspectives that make us stronger together. It's not about fitting into a mold. It's about embracing what makes each of us special and leveraging those strengths to overcome challenges. Here, we don't just prepare for the future, we embrace it with open arms and open minds, crafting a lifestyle that values self-reliance, resilience, and the spirit of unity. Whether it's growing our own food, building essential skills, or navigating life's challenges with unique abilities, we're here to show that nothing can hold us back. Our goal is to equip you with the tools, strategies, and confidence needed to tackle life's uncertainties head-on and emerge stronger, wiser, and more prepared than ever. In this journey, we strive to empower you with knowledge, inspire you with ideas, and unite us all through a shared mission, to be ready, to be resourceful, and to be resilient. Together, we can face any storm, rise above any obstacle, and shine light on the path forward. Through collaboration and determination, we can create a community where everyone feels valued and supported, where no challenge is too great, and where the bonds we build stand the test of time. So, let's gear up, get creative, and continue this incredible journey of prepping, learning, and growing as a community. This is Unique Prepping, where every step we take is a step towards a brighter and more secure tomorrow. It's more than just a channel, it's a movement, a way of life, and a promise to face the future together. Are you ready? Let's dive in and get started. At Unique Prepping, we're all about building stronger communities and preparing for the unexpected. Now, we're taking our mission even further by partnering with Stolen Spirits, a powerful initiative focused on raising awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Together, we're blending preparedness with advocacy, shining a light on the issues that matter most. Join us as we unite for a cause, inspire change, and build a future where every voice is heard and every life is valued. Unique Prepping and Stolen Spirits, stronger together. Good evening, our Unique Prepping community. Welcome to part 3 of Unique Weather Thinking. Good evening, our Unique Prepping community, and welcome to part 3 of Unique Weather Thinking. In this episode, we dive into the critical connection between understanding weather patterns and enhancing your prepping strategy. Weather impacts every aspect of survival, from growing your own food to safely navigating extreme conditions. By equipping yourself with the knowledge and tools to predict, prepare for, and adapt to the elements, you can ensure that you and your loved ones stay one step ahead of nature's challenges. We'll explore practical tips for identifying natural weather signs, leveraging affordable technology, and building strategies to thrive in any climate. Whether you're a seasoned prepper or just starting your journey, this episode will help you elevate your readiness and resilience to the next level. If you enjoy content that helps you prepare for the unexpected while staying grounded in practical solutions, please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video. Your support helps the Unique Prepping community grow and continue delivering valuable insights to preppers everywhere. For more resources, exclusive content, and updates, please visit our LinkTree to find everything related to Unique Prepping. Join us as we build a stronger, more united prepping community. Let's get started. Understanding your local weather patterns is the first step to preparing for extreme weather. Research the common weather-related emergencies in your area. Hurricanes, tornadoes, snowstorms, or heat waves require unique preparations tailored to their specific challenges. Create a family emergency plan to ensure everyone knows what to do during an extreme weather event. Include details about where to meet, how to communicate, and what routes to take if evacuation becomes necessary. Practice this plan regularly to make sure it's second nature. Assemble a dedicated emergency kit with supplies to last at least 72 hours. This should include water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, and any necessary medications. Rotate items periodically to ensure freshness and functionality. Reinforce your home to withstand severe weather conditions. Inspect your roof, windows, and doors for vulnerabilities. Install storm shutters, seal leaks, and secure outdoor furniture to minimize damage. Stay informed by monitoring weather alerts from reliable sources. Emergency radios, weather apps, and community alerts keep you updated on incoming threats. Knowledge is key to staying ahead of the storm. Stockpile items that can help during power outages or transportation disruptions. Gasoline, firewood, and backup power sources like generators or solar panels are essential. Focus on versatility and sustainability for long-term reliability. Develop a network of trusted neighbors and friends. Share resources and information during extreme weather events. A united community is often more resilient in the face of challenges. Consider secondary locations for shelter during extreme weather. Pre-arranged agreements with friends or family outside your immediate area can be life-saving. Have these plans established well in advance. Evaluate your insurance policies to ensure adequate coverage for weather-related damages. Take photographs of your property for records. Financial preparation is just as important as physical preparation.
This is extreme weather, and we're going to be seeing much more of it. How ready are you? Global warming is going to cause different types of extreme weather in different places.
The changes seen globally to climate change are going to vary quite widely. Some places may get drier, some places may get wetter. By increasing the level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, we are effectively putting an extra blanket to further warm the Earth. And that is disrupting the sort of delicate balance of the Earth system. Because we have a warmer atmosphere, it is able to hold more water, which therefore translates into more rainfall too.
In fact, some research suggests that for every 1 degree of warming, we're going to get between 5 and 10% more rainfall.
The flooding that we've seen in Germany and Belgium, the cause of that was a slow-moving storm. There was some research that showed that it looked like they were going to be 14 times more likely by the end of the century.
Places like Bangladesh have been dealing with increasingly deadly floods for years. But many countries continue to be surprised by extreme weather like heat waves, floods, or fires. There are still things we can do to slow down climate change.
We have to wake up to the track we are on globally and the very real possibility that climate change will force tens, if not hundreds of millions of people to have to leave their homes in the future.
But we also need to learn to live with some of the consequences that are already here.
Es gab keine Straßen mehr, es gab keine Autos mehr, man musste mit dem Stock vor sich herlaufen, um nicht einzubrechen.
That's a concept called climate adaptation. We've spoken to the experts on how to adapt to extreme weather in the future.
We have had floods, we've had ice storms.
This is Mississauga, a city in Canada that has growing problems with extreme weather.
Significant windstorms, which of course takes down trees. We've had extreme heat.
The city declared a climate emergency and has created a $450 million climate action plan.
We estimate the cost to be about $500 million to over the next decade alone. But one severe ice storm could range from 23 million to 38 million.
Although they're going to reduce their environmental impact, Diane's team are also completely reorganizing Mississauga to deal with the parts of climate change that are already here.
We have 62 stormwater management ponds in the city of Mississauga now, and what these ponds do is to help us control stormwater quality and water quantity.
We're on the shores of Lake Ontario, and we have a number of lakeside parks that absorb the water into the ground.
Over 40,000 trees, shrubs, wildflowers, and grasses are planted annually.
We are wanting to plant 1 million trees across the city so that, again, it absorbs the water. Measures like roof drainage control, permeable pavement, stormwater ponds.
Here what you're seeing is the energy dissipator, which is the outlet of the stormwater management pond.
I think the key message is just really applying a climate lens to decision making and leadership. I think that, we can't do this without strong leadership. We have to, arm our leadership with the right science, with the right solutions to advance and protect not just our own residents, but our neighbors around us.
And for us individuals, there are ways you can prepare for extreme weather yourself. The Scouts have it right. Always be prepared.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Thermal blankets are one of the most cost-effective ways to stay warm. Mylar emergency blankets reflect body heat and are compact enough to fit in any bag. These are essential for both home and on-the-go prepping. Hand warmers provide instant heat and are incredibly affordable. They are small, lightweight, and perfect for pockets, gloves, or shoes during cold weather outings. Stock up on these for both everyday use and emergencies. Wool socks are a crucial investment for winter survival. Wool retains heat even when wet, unlike cotton. A few good pairs can prevent frostbite and keep your feet comfortable in freezing temperatures. Budget-friendly insulated gloves protect your hands from cold while allowing dexterity for essential tasks. Look for waterproof materials to ensure they hold up in wet snow or ice. Thermal underwear offers a strong base layer for insulation. These garments trap heat close to your body and are often available at reasonable prices. Layering is key to surviving winter conditions. Portable propane heaters provide localized warmth during power outages. Many affordable options are available, but always prioritize models with built-in safety features to prevent accidents. DIY draft stoppers are easy to make and save money. Use old socks or fabric filled with rice or sand to seal gaps around doors and windows. This simple step can significantly improve indoor heat retention. Snow shovels with ergonomic designs can be found at low prices. Clearing snow efficiently prevents injuries and ensures safe access to critical areas. A sturdy shovel is a winter must-have. Reusable water-resistant tarps can shield your supplies or create makeshift shelters. They are versatile and inexpensive, making them invaluable for winter preppers.
With multiple recent natural disasters impacting people, it's important to start preparing for this upcoming winter. While it may seem a ways off, it's going to be here sooner than you can imagine. In this video, we're going to look at 7 critical categories of items that you should have ready on standby. And if the power were to go down in your area in the middle of the winter, how ready would you be? And not only are the items that we're going to cover useful in a winter storm, but they'll also get you through a host of disasters where you're forced to remain inside for an extended period of time. Download the Extreme Weather Survival Guide today. I'll post a link in the description and comments section below, or visit cityprepping.com/weather for a free guide to help you set up your preps to survive even the worst weather events. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and on this channel, we discuss emergency preparedness, aka prepping. At the time of recording this video, several massive hurricanes have impacted Florida and the surrounding areas, resulting in a large influx of viewers and subscribers to this channel. Now, this video will hopefully help you, whether you're just starting out building the foundations of preparedness or you've been doing this for a while. In this video, I've divided the essential items that you should get into 7 categories. We're going to cover safety, warmth, shelter, and insulation, heating, lighting, food and cooking, and communication. And again, the items that we're about to lay out can be used in the winter or pretty much after any disaster scenario. Now, one last thing, please don't be overwhelmed by what I'm about to cover in this video. I've spent a lot of years picking up gear, and hopefully this video is going to give you some ideas, or at least help you fill the gaps that you may not have considered for items that you'll want to have if there's a disaster. I'm going to put links to all the items that we're going to cover in the description and comment section below. So let's go ahead and jump in.
Do not pay somebody to build you a Shopify store, because I'm going to do it free with 20 handpicked products by my
safety. When it comes to safety, preparation is key. In a cold weather emergency, the risk of fire, carbon monoxide poisoning, and injury, it increases. Even if you're taking precautions for you and your home, those around you, if you were, for example, live in a townhouse or an apartment, they may not. So it's critical to have the right equipment to protect yourself. Now, these items that we're about to cover are your first line of defense. And it's also vital to have basic medical supplies to handle any emergencies if you can't reach 911 or the services are down. Now, here are some of the essential safety items to include in your preps. The first one is a carbon monoxide and fire detector. These prevent deadly carbon monoxide poisoning, or at least they'll alert you if there's a level that's not safe. In carbon monoxide, it's an invisible odorless gas, and it's going to make you fall asleep, but you won't wake up. And you want to be alerted, obviously, if it's in your environment. Even if you practice good safety, again, if you live in an apartment, your neighbors may not. Their carelessness, it could cause you harm. So you want to make sure that you have the basic safety of carbon monoxide detectors and a fire alarm. Now, the next item here is a fire extinguisher. And also we've got a fire blanket. And as you can see, we have baking soda. And these are essential for fire safety. The most efficient is a good fire extinguisher. A fire blanket is good for small fires, and you can use some baking soda on some small fires as well, but it's going to take a lot and it's hard to spread. But still, I'd like to have something like a big bag or box if I'm cooking, especially in these types of situation and there's a fire that erupts. Now, the next item is a first aid kit. You can pick up these online. You can build your own. I've had this one for years and it's worked pretty well. And if you're snowed in, first responders, they're not going to be coming to rescue you. And your medical care is really in your hands. You also want to make sure that in your first aid kit, you have a tourniquet. Now, I've got several different tourniquets here that I've tried over the years, or rather I've collected over the years. I've got some various tourniquets in here and some quick clot items. But whenever there's a situation and you have a laceration, a regular first aid kit is not going to have a tourniquet, but a tourniquet can mean the difference between life and death, especially in those seconds after you or someone in your family has a laceration. So you want to make sure that you add one on. I'll put a link to a reliable company, North American Rescue. They're about $32. I'm not affiliated with them, but they're ones that are reputable that companies, first responders often use. Warmth. Staying warm is obviously important when the power goes out. So let's go through a few items that could be very useful. I'm going to start pulling things off here so I can clear up some space. Now, these right here are hand warmers. They're electric hand warmers. Of course, we're all familiar with the disposable kind that you break open and then slide in your gloves. But there's options like this that are electrical. Now, Mylar bags, or rather, I'm sorry, not Mylar bags, but a foil Mylar rescue blanket is what these are referred to. Extremely cheap. And you can stuff these inside of a jacket or use them to wrap yourself, especially if you're in a sleeping bag. Just an option, to reflect heat back. This is a wool blanket. And again, these are very popular to just stay warm, for obvious reasons. The next one I'll show is a sleeping bag that's rated for cold weather conditions. Now, whatever the rating is on the side, say it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, that's what it's going to provide to keep you alive. May not necessarily keep you warm at 20 degrees. So obviously the lower the rating on the temperature, the warmer it's going to keep you at lower temperatures. The next that we'll talk about are some things like bottles. This is a metal clean canteen. If you were to add hot water in this, the surface, depending on how well these are insulated, I haven't used this one in a while, but some are more insulated than others. If they do get very hot, you don't obviously want to put this up against your skin. Putting a sock or wrapping it with a towel, putting inside your coat or your sleeping bag will obviously provide you warmth, and you can keep that close to your body. Something maybe like an Algene could work as well. Again, this is not going to be insulated, so obviously you're going to have to wrap this. So you're not going to want to put that directly on your skin if you do put hot water in there. The next are some, okay, so let's talk about clothing really quick. The key is to layer and to keep extremities warm. What do I mean? Well, our hands, we want to keep those warm. We don't want to let our hands start getting cold, because now that begins to, again, the whole point of this is just to stay warm. The more we expose our body to cold temperatures, the more our body has to warm up, has to burn calories and energy to try to maintain body heat. As you can see, I have nothing on the top of my head. So something like just a basic cap to keep my head warm. I have fleece for both of these, options for gloves and my head. Now, when it comes to even your feet, how many times have you been somewhere cold, and even in your house in the winter and your feet get cold? So If I was in a place the electricity went out, yeah, you better believe I'm going to put on some thick boots and a pair of socks to keep my feet warm. Now, as far as clothing go, the objective is to layer. You're not going to just want to throw on one big jacket and just hope that's going to do the job. I just layer up. So, for example, I've got a pair of thermal long johns and kind of, just.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it. Mine
long sleeve shirt. It's I forget, it's a polymer based material that will wick away some moisture. But the goal is to put that first layer on, and it's just kind of basically long johns. The next is a shirt and some pants. I would put that on over. So now I've created a second layer. Then I can go up to the next layer, something like a goose down jacket or just any type of jacket that's designed to provide insulation and warmth. And then finally, I would have, rather even indoors, use something like this, just a light jacket. This is just kind of a rain wind jacket that will fit over the police jacket. But the point is, as you can see, I'm building layers upon layers. So if I get too hot, I can peel off the top layer and keep going down until I'm actually cool. And I can moderate my temperature that way versus just one big item that I throw on. And if I get hot, well, I got to pull that off. Now I'm cold. With this approach, you can control that temperature. And again, you want to avoid a situation where you're getting too warm. You begin to get moist underneath, which will then get wet, which then creates a whole series of problems. So think from layering perspective and think from keeping your extremities, your hands, your head, your feet warm. Shelter and insulation. Regarding shelter and insulation, there's several options here. The first is a tent, and this is going to actually be used indoors. If there's power outage and your house only becomes cold, the goal is to retreat to one small room where you can control the temperature as much as possible. And what you're going to want to do is create a microclimate for warmth. So let's say the power goes out, we go into a warm. We'll talk about some options of keeping that room warm. But at night, if you were to put up a tent, everybody retreats into the tent, you can at least create a microclimate within that tent to keep everyone warm. Now, by the way, subscribe to our channel, and we're going to do a video next week where we'll go into a lot of implementation of everything that we're going to cover in this video, but let's go ahead and move on. The next one, and we talked about this in the previous point, but something like a Mylar blanket. These are just, simple things that you can wrap around yourself to create a heat trapping layer. These will reflect heat back on you. The next is duct tape. And if you're coming to this video, or maybe not, but again, recently hurricanes hit in the South and, obviously windows were blown out. Now imagine you're in the middle of the winter and some type of disaster came through and you've got now windows that are, knocked open, broken. You've got drafts in your house. Having some type of, just basic painter's plastic sheet like this combined with, duct tape, you can begin to seal off those areas where you're getting a draft. And again, it's not necessarily going to keep your area warm, but it's obviously going to keep that exchange of hot and cold air to a minimum. Now, the next item is a tarp, and this protects from wind or rain. Now, what I have here is a survival tarp. You don't have to get something like this. This just has like a foil layer on one side so it can reflect heat back. But you can pick up a tarp at, a Walmart, Home Depot for $8-10. And these are great for fixing a leaking roof or a damaged structure. How many times have you gone into a neighborhood and you've seen after a big rainstorm, people will put up tarps on their roof because maybe they had a small leak? And again, think about it from that perspective of having that ability if there's some type of damage done that you can seal that off. It can also be used as a protective ground sheet to keep you from sleeping on a wet ground or a wet floor. Speaking of sleeping on the ground, as we're talking about with a tent, if we set this up in a room, you don't want to sleep directly on the ground, even if you're in a sleeping bag. That will pull the heat away from your body. So for that reason, you're going to want some type of sleeping pad. This is one I've used for years. It just inflates up and you can pick them up, again, on Amazon or different places. And this creates a barrier between you and the ground, protecting you from losing heat to the ground. And again, we just talked about the painter's plastic a second ago for insulation or sealing off rooms. When it comes to heating, there's an element of danger whenever you introduce a heating element.
If you want to watch the rest of the video, I put the link in the description below. I wanted to show you items that we can get since winter is here. Learn to build an insulated snow shelter for extreme cold. Techniques like creating a quinzhee or igloo provide protection against freezing temperatures and wind. Master the art of fire starting in snowy or damp conditions. Practice using ferro rods, waterproof matches, or flint and steel to ignite kindling even in wet environments. Create a heat reflector with natural materials. Positioning reflective surfaces like rocks or foil near a fire directs warmth toward your shelter. Efficiency is crucial in retaining body heat. Harvest and purify snow for drinking water. Always boil or use purification tablets to ensure the snow is safe to consume. Proper hydration is just as important in the cold as in the heat. Learn to track animals in the snow. Distinct patterns in snow tracks can indicate food sources, potential threats, or navigation aids. Observation skills are critical for survival. Develop advanced layering techniques to regulate body heat. Use a combination of moisture wicking, insulating, and windproof layers for optimal warmth and mobility. Practice crafting winter-specific tools, such as snowshoes or ice hooks. These skills can help navigate tough terrain and avoid dangerous situations like falling through ice. Understand how to identify and avoid frostbite or hypothermia. Know the warning signs, preventative measures, and emergency treatments for cold-related injuries. Experiment with cooking methods that work in frigid temperatures. Techniques like using heated rocks or snow pits can be life-saving when conventional stoves fail. Enhance your navigation skills by learning to read the winter landscape. Sun position, snow patterns, and tree shapes can serve as guides when landmarks are obscured.
A lot of dead branches. A couple of these are some large cottonwood branches that we sawed off or picked up off the forest floor that we're going to use for a long fire. Now we chopped off one of the ends just to make them a little bit more even. Another technique that we can do to help get our fire going is taking our axe and chopping into the tops of the logs, exposing that dry wood underneath. Or we just collect up enough fire material, place it right on top to get ready to light our fire. One technique we can do to keep that top log supported off our fire lay long enough for us to get that fire started and allow oxygen to reach our fire is to create 4 stakes and then use that to actually lift up our top log. To ignite our long fire, we're going to cut up our tinder, space it at even intervals in our fire lay underneath that top log, light them all at the same time so we get a nice even burn. The long fire is great for a cold weather environment because it generates a lot of heat, especially if those logs are as long as we are tall. We can lay down next to that fire and get a very even heat source. And we can also cook over it at the same time. So this is a great fire to know and to use, especially with material that we can collect very easily. Sometimes tools break, and so we're going to demonstrate how to burn out and fix a broken axe handle. We have a cheap hatchet here, and we've sawed off the handle, demonstrating that it's broken. All we're going to do is take this axe handle, dig out our fire pit, and baton that axe, the bit, right into the dirt and pack it in. Then, from here, we're just going to gather fire that we've already created in the form of coals, sweep those over to our hatchet, build up the fire, and get a strong heat going so we can actually burn out that wood and plastic material that is in the eye of our hatchet. We have our axe handle already created and a wedge. Now we just need to saw in the kerf that's going to go into the top portion of our axe handle. We're going to pound that wedge in once it's fitted into the eye that we're currently burning out underneath our fire. Soil is going to protect the bit of our hatchet, and the fire is going to burn out the remainder of the wood handle inside the eye of the hatchet. Once we're ready, we sweep the coals away and check the eye of our hatchet.
A few days ago, Alex scheduled a same-day appointment with Circle Medical for her annual checkup, all covered by her insurance.
Once our hatchet is cooled down and we can handle it with our hands, we can now refit our new spare handle into the eye of our hatchet, batoning it down. We're then going to take the wedge and apply the wedge, pounding it into place until that axe handle is firm in the eye of the hatchet. And then now all we have to do is saw off the remainder of the wedge, shape up the top of that hatchet handle, and it's ready for use. This is a great technique to know because the axe or the hatchet is going to be our primary tool in cold weather environments typically, and sometimes tools break. And so knowing how to refit a hatchet handle or an axe handle is an incredibly valuable skill in a winter environment. Now let's talk a little bit of shelter craft. There's a very simple, easy technique to allow us to gather a large amount of debris in a very short time frame to build a grass debris survival shelter. Observe the grass laying down in the open prairie. Grab that grass, pull it the opposite direction it is laying, and you'll begin to peel back the grass. Roll it as you peel, and you can collect a large amount of debris in a very short time to apply to your survival shelter to stay warm. And take that grass back to our shelter site, but we're going to leave one roll out as a blanket. We collected up about 4 or 5 armfuls of prairie grass using this technique in a very short time, about 10 minutes or so. And we're going to create a very viable survival shelter for the coldest of environments, this grass nest debris shelter or a Bigfoot bed. What we're going to do is just lay down that grass. We're going to keep one roll out to act as our blanket. We're going to use our hands and our feet to form that pile of grass into a nest, giving us 4 inches of compressed debris on the forest floor, and then even walls surrounding us 360 degrees to keep us warm. We're going to get in our shelter, pull our hood up, and then grab that grass that's going to act as our blanket that we place at the foot of the shelter, roll it on top of us to complete our shelter, acting as a blanket to keep us warm. And when we're done, we just roll it off, get up, shake off the grass, and we're good to go. This next skill is going to be a bush pot steamer. Typically, I recommend we carry 2 bush pots, one large bush pot and one small bush pot. We have a 1 quart and we have a 3 quart. Both have fry pan lids that we can use, as well as strong bales to suspend these bush pots over the fire. Plus, that small bush pot can fit inside the other bush pot for packing, and this makes a very convenient and nice kit to carry in the woods. Our bush pot steamer, we're going to take the lid of the smaller bush pot, put it face down inside the larger bush pot, take the small bush pot, put it on top of that lid, and then cover everything with a large bush pot lid. Very simple technique and easy to use, especially with limited water in a cold environment. What we do is just put whatever we're going to cook in the small bush pot, in this case rice. We're going to add a little bit of warm water because it's rice, and then we're going to take the rest of the water and pour it down inside the large bush pot to collect at the bottom, and then we're going to place everything over the fire. What's going to happen is the water in the bottom of that bush pot is going to boil. The steam will form at the top and begin to steam and cook the rice as we leave it over the fire. We can add more water if we need to get more steam, but it will cook nice and easy this way. Now we're going to check the rice occasionally, stirring it to make sure that it's actually cooking. One thing we want to be aware of is that with that boiling water, the water is actually going to pool and get pushed up inside the lid of that small bush pot. So we may need to adjust occasionally, but we can see that the rice is cooking nicely and should be done here in the next few minutes. I really like this technique. I picked this up from a Japanese survivalist that would use this technique with 1 bush pot and pieces of bamboo lined in the bottom with water to steam organs or other meats from kills off the landscape. But today we're going to eat rice, so we just pull it off. When it's ready, stir it up. We can even recover that with a lid to let the steam continue to make that rice soft. But now we have our meal ready to go with a bush pot steamer. Cooking any type of food that we bring out with us camping in a winter environment, or that we collect off the landscape or harvest off the landscape in the form of wild game, we need to learn how to cook and maximize calorie intake to get all the calories we need, because our body's going to be working overtime in a cold weather environment. One of the ways we can maximize calories in a cold weather environment cooking our food is with aluminum foil or some sort of wrapping we can place over the fire to keep everything together and collect all of the juices and calories that we need. We're going to cut up a potato. We're going to cut up an onion as well as some carrots. And then we have seasonings as well as oil and butter that we're going to put inside of the aluminum foil for our hobo meal. Aluminum foil provides us the opportunity to keep every ingredient and every morsel of food inside that aluminum foil for maximum calorie intake. We're going to eat everything that's inside this meal to maximize those calories. Believe it or not, but this is a deer heart, and deer heart is one of my favorite meals. I actually scavenged this deer heart from a neighbor's deer kill that they left the guts out and it froze overnight. Still good to go, bright red, excellent food. We're just going to chop this up and throw it in with our hobo meal right on top of our vegetables. Once we add the meat, we're just going to put a little bit more seasoning over the top. We did have oil, garlic, and butter that we put on top of the vegetables sitting underneath that meat to give it a lot of good flavor and extra calories in the form of fats. Now that our meal is prepped and wrapped up, we can go clean our hands and then clean our tools that have touched this raw meat. Using ash from the fire, we can scrub our knife and our hands and wash off in the creek to help clean ourselves off. Now, this hobo meal inside our aluminum foil from our survival kit is a meal that needs to cook very low and slow. So we need to get a fire going, build up that fire ember base, and then let it cool down to where we have just nice embers collected in our fire pit. From here, we can then add our hobo meal right on top of those embers. We don't need to flip it or turn it very often, and let it cook low and slow so we don't burn the food inside the aluminum foil. With the oil and fats from the butter that we put inside this meal, that's going to help cook the meat that's on top of our vegetables. We're going to create a pair of chopsticks and then open up our hobo meal and begin to enjoy this feast. This is an excellent meal, one of my favorites in the field to make, get a lot of calories, a lot of nutrients, and thrive in survival. This next skill, we're going to need just a small section of log, relatively straight, that we can baton out the center. We are going to baton this log into
If you want to watch the rest of this video, check the description below. I wanted to share some food tips for winter preparation. Thank you for watching part 3 of Unique Weather Thinking. I hope you found these tips and strategies helpful in enhancing your preparedness for any weather conditions life may throw at you. Remember, staying informed and prepared is the key to thriving in uncertain times. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support the Unique Prepping community, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Your feedback and support mean the world to me and help this channel continue to grow and reach more people. For more resources, donation, and social media links, please visit our LinkTree to find everything related to Unique Prepping. It's your one-stop shop for all things prepping and community building. As always, I want to leave you with this KJV verse: "The prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished." Proverbs 22 verse 3. I love you all. Stay prepared, stay blessed, and stay unique. God bless.
Nutrient Survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient Survival. Feed your freedom.
Making moves on your chess piece, always on the grind. In this game called life, gotta sharpen up the mind. Unique prepping, got the vision locked and loaded. Every challenge that arises, I'm determined, I'm devoted. Stay ready for the call, enter life's demands, and we'll rise together. We'll take our stand. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Thanks for watching every view, every like. Your support is the fire that keeps me hyped. Comment, depth, and insight, share the vision wide. This community's growing and we'll ride this tide. So go ahead and subscribe, don't miss a beat. Tune in next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Like, share, comment. Prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. You pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Never alone. Never alone. Keep pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Yeah. Let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5 verse 9 KJV.